Jody Williams, how are you doing, my friend?
Yes, sir. I am good. I am better now. I'm back on the grid. How's everybody doing this morning?
I tell you, well, we got 5 people sitting there waiting for us, so that's good. That's a good start to the show, even though we're one day later than our usual show. We'll be back to the normal day next week, but this time we are on Tuesday.
And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, but not only here, but make sure you get into those into that video description so you can head on over to Jody's channel and do the same. Now, you saw the screen at the start because we have neglected the membership over the past little while, making sure we get a shout out to them. So we're going to make sure we show that graphic at the start of these videos.
Right.
But here we are. What a weekend.
You know what, Ryan? It's not every day that you get to have a podcast show with a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer?
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about this thing right here?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Tell everybody what's going on with that. Congratulations, by the way.
Well, the Canadian Armwrestling Federation has a Hall of Fame, and every year they induct 2 or 3 more members into that Hall of Fame. It's been going on for over 10 years, and it is very humbling because it is a pretty elite group of people.
Yes.
And its dedication to the sport, accomplishments in the sport, building of the sport, all of these things combined, and they basically pick a couple or a few people each year to go in. This year, a little bit more special because this was supposed to happen in 2020.
Right.
And it got delayed for 2 years. So there was no one inducted in 2020 or 2021 because everything got pushed back.
Right.
And the 3 of us, we knew this was coming, but it was on us to make sure that we kind of kept it under wraps a little bit as the date approached. And it finally happened. It finally happened. So for me, it's a matter of rinse and repeat because there's nothing else to do. Like there's nothing else to, there's not much else to accomplish in the sport after that for me, except to continue to build, continue to try to compete at a decent level. But I mean, we still got this little guy.
I like that.
That's a gold medal from the Nationals.
Now, before all that, we talked about, and there's some guy I was hoping to meet you there. I think his name was Porkchop. Did you ever get a chance to meet with him at the Nationals over the weekend?
Yeah, as advertised, man. Like, I must give him props because the man is strong. The man is strong, and we had a battle. We went into the left arm match. Each of us, I think, having a relatively unchallenging opening match.
Right.
And then we met up on the A side. And we went, the first match, he fast started me. It got called, but I stopped him before the pin.
Right.
Next match, I kind of hit him over, and he pulled me back into a hook. There was another foul. And then the third go, we end up in this crazy, violent, table-breaking match where we were, like, pushing each other around and sawing back and forth and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and almost ripped the table right out of the base. Crowd loved it, but it effectively ended, well, we thought it was going to end both of our days completely. Nobody would have predicted what would have happened. So I go down to the B side. I lost. I took a second foul, and I ended up down on the B side. And Porkchop goes in. He says, "That's it for me." Basically, like he told me, he's so blown up from our match. He loses his next match against Kyle Rayner, and you met Kyle. Kyle was the guy I had a super match with a few months ago in Morris, Manitoba.
He beat Porkchop?
He beat Porkchop.
Wow.
And then,
that's impressive.
And then all of a sudden, I have Porkchop again. So I pull him on the B side, and this time I just straight up posting top roll, and I recovered a whole lot quicker than he did, and I ended up just top rolling him and beating him. And then he went down to the C side, and he got beat, I think, by Jeff Slater. So those are his 3 losses. Like bang, 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 he's out of the tournament.
And
Then
so
I
for you,
had
oh, go ahead. I was
I
going to say
had
for the guys in the chat, Macho Man and Fox 8 Ball, the Canadian Nationals have a triple elimination at their
we
nationals,
do.
by the way.
Yeah, we have an A, B, and a C side. It's crazy. And we have my wife ran over, got some ice on my arm, and my training partner is Spencer Cleaver. Well, his wife happens to be my massage therapist. So she's over there working on me immediately, trying to get me in shape for the next matches, and kind of got everything working as well as it could. You know, it's like putting together a NASCAR with duct tape, basically, and getting it ready for the next lap. And it was successful. And I kept winning and I kept going on. And everyone's like, how the hell's he doing that? Like, Pork Chop's gone and I'm still in it. And I managed to come all the way back from the brink of disaster and won the tournament.
So do you remember how many matches did you pull in total?
8 to 10, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, because once you go down to the B side, you have to pull one after another after another. On the A side, I had 2 matches. It was I see you, not my monkeys, not my circus. I ended up pulling. Jeff Slater was my first match. My second match was Pork Chop.
Mm-hmm.
My third match was someone else. Then I pulled Pork Chop again. Then I pulled Kyle Rayner. Then I pulled Kyle Rayner again. Then I pulled some other guys, and I ended up in the finals with Slater.
But well deserved,
Yeah.
You know? So did you ever test your right in the Masters? I know you talked about that, but you weren't really sure yet.
I did not, but I did do a little bit of after pulling, and the only guy I pulled in the after pull was Pork Chop, and it felt really good against him.
Good.
Like we had some good matches, but I mean, I don't know how many guys you guys normally get at your nationals. We had over 550 entries,
and you know it should be, because like you said, the fact that you knew about the Hall of Fame inductees, you had to keep that under wraps for a whole year, and there was no nationals last year, so I knew this was the big thing coming up. You know, I was wondering if the venue was going to be big enough, because I anticipated a lot of entries, a lot from, a lot of provinces. How does that work anyway? So how does one become or get on the nationals? Because here in the States, all you got to do is show up, where you guys have to pull provincials first in place.
Yes, we have to compete or participate in our provincials. There's no placing requirement.
Right.
You just have to have participated. Now there's a buy process to go through. Each province is a little bit different. Because of COVID, it was a little bit more lax this year. So a lot of guys that maybe didn't go to their provincials had a way to get in there. Billy Berg saying 574 was the total. So
wow,
that's a lot. And we had a lot of guys showing up from across Canada. Every province was represented. And in Canada, there's provinces and there's territories. So we have 10 provinces and a couple territories up north. And we actually had 2 guys from the Yukon show up for the Nationals.
I was just going to ask you that. Yukon showed up?
The Yukon showed up. Yeah, it was crazy. And there was so many guys. And the legends came out, man. Like Earl Wilson was in the house. And he wasn't going to pull. And he ended up pulling the Grand Masters class and winning that. He has made a commitment, Jody, that he is coming back to pull me in the Masters at next year's Nationals.
I go a step further, because I'm a big Earl Wilson fan. And do you think one of these days we can have him on as a guest?
100%.
Because I'm also a big fan of his daughter, who, by the way, took gold.
Crazy dominant. And unexpectedly, because I've seen her struggle in the past with some of these girls that she was pulling. This was not the case this weekend.
Now, I didn't see the some of the footage, but I tell you what, when you're on the podium and you take first and you look to your left and you see Christine Flicka taking second, that just tells me right there, I know a little bit about Canadian arm wrestling, just a little bit, but when you take first and you see Christine Flicka taking second, that says a lot of volumes, because I know for Sarah, Earl's daughter, that it was always that I'm almost there, but I can't, get through the threshold because Christine Flicker was there. And this time, she made good on it.
Well, there's so many stories from this weekend. Crazy George was there. Pulls the Masters and the Open and wins them both. Nobody still can't beat Crazy George. Alex beats Anthony D'Antonio. Like, that's nuts.
Whoa. Say that one more time.
Alex Maristas beats Anthony D'Antonio in the right arm.
Really?
Not just beats him. He wins the class. He beats him twice. 3 times, I think, actually, because of the triple. Yeah. What else was there? My daughter Jordan got 2 silver medals. Got to mention that.
Congratulations.
And, oh, man, there's a ton of stuff. Jose Morneau pulls 8 classes and medals in every single one of them.
See, I love her because 2019 Arnold's, and we're all staying at the host hotel. And I think it was the Marriott. I can't remember. But we also got like an Uber taxi to the venue and stuff. And we were just sitting up there just chit-chatting. And she tells me, you know, her background as a farmer, just always using her hands, milking animals and that kind of stuff. And she kind of told me that's how, you know, she got her hands strong, you know, just, you know, farm work, you know. I'm thinking, wow. And to hear you say that she entered 8 classes and medal and all doesn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, it's nuts. And that was everyone that seemed to be, you know, maybe I question them at some point in their career. Everyone seems to leveled up significantly during COVID, and everyone came out and just put on one hell of a show. Alex Porkchop didn't pin me. He won on fouls, so there you go. But I will say this. It could have happened. I'm not saying he wasn't going to pin me, because it might have happened had we stayed in that position for a little while longer. I'm glad that the foul got called, because, you know, the tank was on fumes for the rest of that tournament.
Right. Well, you said there's backstories, but there's 3 people I want to know how they did.
Yep.
One's in the chat. Billy Burke, how'd you do? How did Uncle John do? How did Clayton Faulkner do? And how did Beerman, if he ever went, how'd they do?
Okay, Beerman did not go. Uncle John did not pull, but he was announcing the entire thing and at a high level of energy and pretty much made the tournament. So the tournament became entertaining for everybody. Even in the downtime, the spectators, and Uncle John is directly responsible for that.
Good.
I will say that there's no doubt in my mind. There was no snooze fest in between rounds like we sometimes see at these events. John was there as a color guy, and his reasoning for not pulling is because he puts so much energy into the commentating that one always takes away from the other. So if he's going to do that, he can't arm wrestle. If he's going to arm wrestle, he holds back on his commentating. And there was a difference, and he's if you want your tournament to be entertaining, get Uncle John there, hire him to be your MC.
I tell you what, there's some truth to what John was saying when you explain it to everybody here, because many times I've been the director of a tournament, as also the referee of that same tournament, and as a competitor of that same tournament, and I had to split all my energy into thirds, and it does not work.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. So I understand where John's coming from, which is probably smart, because if you're going to be there, you want to give every ounce of energy you got to whatever it is, reffing, emceeing, you know, whatever the case may be. You got to, you know, put all your energy into that, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was nuts, man. Like, there's so many high points, not really any low points, a couple small injuries.
Right.
No real serious ones. But, I mean, it was awesome. The tournament was great. Who else did you mention there? You mentioned...
how did Billy Berg do? How did Clayton Faulkner, how did he do?
Billy, you can give a commentary on yours. But I didn't get to see a ton of his matches because all of our classes were going on at the same time. Now, Clayton ended up, I believe, with a silver medal.
That's good.
And I think he was in tough against... oh boy, I think he was up in Mark McPhail's class. So, I mean, there was There was no easy wins this time. One of
But
the more impressive things that I saw is Andrew Grant, who has been around for a very long time, never won the Nationals, goes in there against just a stacked class and wins the 240 or the 110 kilo class.
See, there it is. You know, I think this is what you guys needed, because after taking a year off, I wish we can say the same about our nationals, but it didn't happen that way. But, you know, taking a year off and generating all this pent up frustration, because for a while you guys couldn't even leave your province, let alone houses, to go to tournaments or train or whatnot. You had to stay put. So all this pent up frustration finally came to fruition, and I'm glad everybody got a chance to let everything out. Congratulations to those that, you know, made the podium. Congratulations to the Hall of Famer I have on the show. Now, can you explain to everybody what your accolades now? Because you got Providence titles, Canadian national titles, WAFF World titles, Hall of Fame. What is there?
So there's 3 significant ones. I'm looking over at them. There's the Danny Altenberg Award, which is dedication to the sport of arm wrestling. That's a provincial award. The John Miazdik Award is probably the most important one of all of them, which is the national recognition that's given away to one arm wrestler each year. I won that in 2004. And then the Hall of Fame this year.
Like you said, it's probably nothing else to prove to a certain degree, because that alone, your accolades, you can walk away and go, yeah, I'm a legend in this sport, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, there was never a point in my career where I said, when I get to this goal, I'm finished.
Right.
So it's just going to be more of the same thing. I did decide that next year I'm probably going to sit out the open tournament and try to get my master level referee.
Okay.
In order to do that, you must referee on the open day or the senior class day of the nationals.
Okay.
So I'll go and pull masters. I'll have my battles with Earl. And hopefully we can get Mike Gould in there. Hopefully we can get Lenny in there.
Can you imagine that class?
A classic masters.
Just do a fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
Honestly, so not that I'm a promoter, but I have these ideas in my brain. How about you can have a tournament? You guys can pick a central part of Canada and just have it fatal 4-way, Legends Edition. Because then you got you, Earl, you got Mike, and who was the other guy you said?
Len Houghton.
In the Houghton, right? For you guys, and how it goes, it's the best in the first round, the best of 2. I'm sorry, best of 3. The winners go on to a best of 5.
Yeah, I mean, the promoters out there, I mean, that's
call Jeff Frank.
Well, yeah, I think to make it special, it's got to happen at the Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there, the name recognition will draw a lot, you know what I mean? Because we're talking legend. I think all 4 of you guys are Canadian Hall of Fame, correct now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all 4 of you guys, Hall of Fame Legends Edition, and you could put that as a moniker, and that right there would be like, oh, okay, because that will get seats in. I think all the big time pullers will actually come and watch. I mean, that's just, how I see things. Now, I know people I don't recall Matt Mass being there, I don't think.
Matt Mass he doesn't normally go to the national championships, neither does Devin.
Right.
They made a decision a long time ago that wasn't going to be their thing or their primary focus.
Right.
That's up to them.
Right.
For me, Nationals holds a much deeper meaning. And, one of the guys that I was absolutely shocked to see there and happy to see there was Troy Eaton. And Troy is the guy that's, he is a legend in Canada.
Yes.
Some people that haven't been or are new to the sport might not recognize that name, but he is absolute killer. Been to the Worlds numerous times, been to the Arnold's numerous times, but to see him come back, and I'm hoping he sticks around for a long, long time.
I mean, the legends are you get a legend like from the ladies, you get Tamara Mitz or a Lori Powell, we're Dave Hicks, and we're talking legends of legends. and just have a event to where all the legends just come back for one last go around or one more night or however you want to put that on there. I think that would be super awesome because I know once upon a time, aside from Canadian Nationals, the My Gould Classic was the event everybody circled their calendar for.
Yep, that was the one.
You know,
it was the one, and I only ever got to one of them. But I mean, some of my best memories were from that tournament.
Right.
Yeah, particularly because I had half the country betting against me against Sylvain.
Right.
But it was a good event.
Now let's talk to the juicy stuff. So off the nationals, is it true your country can go either way now? Because now you can choose to go to France for IFA Worlds, or you can choose to go to WAFF Worlds, which is in where this year?
Turkey. It's back in Turkey.
Okay. So you guys, the first place, they have the option. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but here in the States, you place top 3, right? The top 2 qualify. So basically, third place is kind of just sitting there, kind of waiting to see if one of the top 2 cannot go. And I was in that position. 2017, I think Worlds was in Budapest. I would imagine. I think it was Budapest, and I took third to Masters. So Alan Bound took, and this was left hand 100 kg kilo class. Alan Bound took first. Scott Partington took second, and I took third. And it was kind of like, okay, just kind of wait and hang on, because if one of those guys can't go, then the next person that plays, they get the next crack at it, which would have been me. But I think Al decided, last minute, I'm not going to do Masters. I'll do Grandmasters instead. So it left a vacant spot. And of course, I'm thinking by that time, he's already going to go. So I'm not going to try to pursue that. And last minute, hey, you want the spot? I'm thinking, bro, I don't have any money saved up. I don't have any, sponsorship or anything. So I kind of dropped the ball on that one. But how's it work for you guys?
Well, the IFA is not restricted to the numbers right now. So IFA has left it wide open. If you have competed in your nationals, you can go.
Right.
So the whole class could fly over there to France and attend and pull if they want. WAFF is different. WAFF is top 2. So if the top 2 don't go, it goes to the third, then the fourth, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So there's a lot of guys that were going to try to attend both.
Okay.
There's only one issue with that. To do that, WAFF would need to happen first. And I only say that because WAFF is now, historically, they have banned arm wrestlers that attended the IFA.
Yep.
So in order to go to both, WAFF would have to happen first. They go to WAFF, then they go to IFA, who doesn't ban anybody. That being said, now the IFA is first. You must make a choice. Go to one or the other, because potentially you go to IFA, you get banned from WAFF. And now I understand that it's also pretty easy to get that ban lifted. You just basically ask Murcha or Asan to lift it, and they most often do.
Well, and it shouldn't have to come down to that, because here are the athletes who train so hard for this. They put in the hard work, and then to have someone say, you're banned. It's like going, aren't you hurting the sport and hurting the athletes by doing this kind of stuff? I mean, I never understood that. I understand, I got friends. Sometimes these kind of conversations can get a little chippy.
Yep.
I got friends on the other side, on the WAFF side, and I'm on the, I competed in IFA. So I guess that by default, I consider myself an IFA guy. And I know that sometimes, people get chippy, and it's like, I understand. Some people are dedicated to WAFF. Totally get that. They are, hey, committed. I was born and raised WAFF. I'm going to keep doing that. Totally get that. And, I'm surprised Cody Merritt's not on here yet, but Cody actually pulled IFA Nationals. So I don't know what does that do to him,
Well, I mean, if they stick to what they've done in the past, he should now be banned. But I don't know if they're still doing that or not.
I think they're going to come to the realization they need to quit doing that kind of stuff, because sooner or later, countries are going to start leaving that banner bit by bit.
The strong arm stuff that WAFF was doing is the kind of shit that made the IFA take off in the first place.
Yeah.
So if they continue to do that, they're just going to end up hurting themselves because there's lots of competitors that will try to go to both, and ultimately WAFF has the ability to put on an amazing show, and they have in the past. They always have done a good job of the tournaments. Once you're at the tournament, people will choose. So let the two fight it out, but the strong arm stuff is really off-putting, and it'll make people's decision a whole lot easier, I think.
Well, I mean, and we'll take one person that I know off the top of my head in the United States, Lisa Wolfley. She's won a WAFF world title. She's won an IFA world title. So it's kind of like, okay, who doesn't want that on their resume?
Yeah, of course.
You know, so I get people who want to do that. One of these days.
The fact of the matter is, right now, WAFF is probably still the tougher tournament. That could change. That could change dramatically in the next few years. But that doesn't mean you should always decide to go with WAFF. Then you got to build somewhere.
You have to do what's best for you, I guess, from an athlete standpoint. You know, I'll never know what it's like to go to a WAFF event, I guess, you know, because you look at it this way. I knew going forward, IFA was going to be a big thing, because you got to remember, this thing kicked off 2019 in Poland off the heels of the Nemiroff, right? So that's how the original one started. 2020 COVID came and blew everything up, so they had to push it back to last year. IFA Worlds was in Orlando, Florida, United States, and you knew everybody from the States was going to do it, because you don't know exactly when the next World Championship will come to North America, right? Canada included.
That is the one thing that should influence North American arm wrestlers, is the fact that you're never going to see WAFF back here.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's only a concession to try to get North American arm wrestlers. And once the IFA, if they do manage to bury them, you'll never see it back here again, because they'll make it so cost prohibitive that it'll never happen.
I think they're doing that now.
Well, that's the reason that there was some of the cracks started forming in the first place, is because Bill Collins had WAFF locked up for an American event, and they took it away.
There was one year, I don't know if it was 2014 or 2016 or whatever, Worlds was supposed to be in the States and it got snatched up. You know, good morning, Mr. Gabriel. And something happened and it got awarded to somebody else. And now I think that might have been the first domino effect. And then they're going to kick out Leonard Harkless. That was another domino effect. And then here comes the snowball coming down, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's always been shenanigans. If you go way back in the Arm Crossfire days, I did interviews with Anders from IFA and Murcha from WAFF, and I call him on his bullshit, and he basically outlined some of the corrupt stuff that's going on within WAFF. So please, everyone, go back and watch those two interviews, and that should tell you everything you need to know.
Right. And yes, Mr. McDonald, we're going to get to the Michael Todd Hutchins prediction. I just want to kind of put a bow tie on the Nationals, because it was important, you know. Oh, I have a did you know, Mr. Espey? I have a did you know. Did you go to the WAFF Worlds in 1999?
Where was it that year?
Well, is that the year where there was like two of them?
Oh, no. I did not. Didn't have to think too hard about that one. My first one was 2001.
I'm going to grab something right quick. Keep the show rolling.
Yeah, you got it. Mr. Drellick in the house. How are you doing? Something about falling views on YouTube from Alex Toproll taking a break. Interesting, because I've noticed that views on our videos have gone down while the subscribers and the fan engagement has gone up. So it's strange to me that that's happening. So he might have a point there. However, our last video, you know, we got the Can-Am connection, you know, with a few hundred views here and there, but the last one was over 700. So that was awesome. But it's, you know, you're right. There's something else going on with the YouTube algorithm a little bit. And now it's show and tell time.
Yes. I have a souvenir from the 1999 WAFF Worlds gold medal. I'm not going to mention the athlete that, here, it's a souvenir. So
Oh, that's a beauty.
yeah. Russia. Yeah. So it's a suit. You can see what 1999 right here and stuff.
Actually looks like a real gold medal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the 1999 WAFF World Gold Medal. It's a souvenir, so I hold dearly. It's more of a for me, it's more of a motivation to go after that my own world title, so to speak. So
Yes. So if the history of it is 1997, there was a humongous blow up at the Worlds in India. And Fred Roy was escorted out of the Congress meeting at gunpoint.
Really?
By armed security guards. Yes, that is a true story. And then in 1998, there was 2 world championships. One of them was, I don't remember the other one was. It might have been, I don't know. That's a tough one. There was one in Canada, though. The World Armed Sport Federation was in Canada.
Was that the Hudson's Bay one? Or Thunder Bay? Thunder Bay,
Ontario. I was at that watching. That's where I first met Neil Pickup and Marcio.
Right.
When they were little guys. Marcio was down like 187s or something.
Oh, there you go.
And yeah, then they split. And then you showed us the 1999 world medal from Russia.
Yep.
Other world championships was in Japan. And that's the one I believe you saw John Berzink, Ron Bath, and Devin Larratt in the top 3.
Yeah, this thing is pretty thick. But yeah, it's pretty nice, man. I sat there and I'm like going, are you kidding me? And I'm thinking, when that person's like, dude, I'm like, wow. So I hold that near and dear to my heart. No, I didn't win, but for me, it's a motivator that I kind of go, okay, I got to get back on track to what my actual goal in this sport is, to get a national title or a world title, which, I got a 3rd place nationals medal here. I got a 2nd place IFA world medal here. So, and just to give you an example of 2021 IFA world compared to a 1999 gold medal world, you want to see the difference?
Yes.
I'm telling you right now, it's like off the charts, man. So first of all, here's my 2017 3rd place nationals medal right there.
Yep.
So that's that. But okay, so here's the deal: 1999 World WAFF World. Okay, 2021 IFA World. You see the difference, right?
Well, it's definitely bigger.
Right. Not as thick, but yeah, this is 2021 IFA World 2nd place. Masters division. So that there you go. That's right there. So it kind of, to me, I need to get back on the horse and start reestablishing,
The next time we're on here, Jody, I'm going to show you my world championship medal from 2002 compared to my world championship medal from 2003. And I will
1 year difference?
1 year difference.
Now, there's a couple times where I saw a WAFF medal that was like a triangle shape.
That's 2002.
And somebody said it was kind of disappointing.
It's about this big in the middle of my hands there compared to, I'll show you it next time we're on here.
Boy, oh boy.
But still means a lot.
No, it's a big accomplishment.
However, it's the same medal you would have got if you competed at the 6 to 8 year old karate championship for Western Manitoba.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for medals, and awards because they all tell a story. But I don't want to get too far into that because I know some people want to know our thoughts about the upcoming matches.
Yep, let's do that because I got about 10 minutes before I got to go.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get to the main event ones. Everyone's talking about. Do we know if Corey West is still going to pull John?
I haven't seen anything that would indicate anything different. So let's consider them to be that match to be on.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I'm not sure 100% the health of Corey after his match with Kordeka. John, he was probably watching, so I know. I'm telling you right now, it's I don't know, because John can sit there and probably just hold Corey maybe if Corey decides to hit, and then if he hits and he's out of position, John can hold that, drain him out, and pin him.
Well, I will make one prediction on that match. I love both these guys. Neither one of them will take a prediction
right
offensively, but I'll make one prediction. Corey West wins match number 1.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Other than that, I have no idea.
Because it's like when Corey pulled Tadzilla, who won the first match. Corey did. So it's more that adjustment, like, okay, I see what you got. I know where I don't want to go, or I know what I got to do to stop that hit, or I'm going to go the opposite way. It's the same thing that Devin does normally and that kind of thing, if you want to look at it that way. So that's something to look at. But it seems like everybody's talking about Michael Todd and Todd Hutchings. I think that might have happened at WAL had it still been up and running right now.
It would have, yeah.
So and who knows? Maybe, you might have got to crack that one of those guys. I don't know.
It was supposed to be Todd Hutchings. It was me and Todd Hutchings were lined up. Yeah. And then COVID.
Yeah. Just kind of ruined everything.
Yeah.
But it's weird because there's so many stories going into that match. And, it doesn't have to happen over in Turkey. It happens here in the States in Michael Todd's backyard. But Michael's coming off 3 consecutive right hand losses on the right hand. And Todzilla's doing nothing but
killing it.
Just going up. So, it begs to differ. Like, okay, so what do we see here? It's okay. My dog hears your dogs.
Yeah.
So what do we hear? What do we see here? Because we all know is it Michael's style that's gonna mess up Todd's game plan?
It's interesting because in order for Michael, I got dogs going crazy. Must be the garbage man outside. We have with Michael's style, I think. To beat Michael's King's move, most people need to take away his pronation and his hand control. Okay. Right. For that reason, I think it's a really good opportunity. Like, it's kind of like Jerry. Yeah, he can give Michael a hell of a match. Can he beat him? 50-50.
Yeah.
I think we'll find out where Michael's arm's really at. I don't know that if he can push through the King's move of Michael without hand control. I'm going to predict that Michael actually wins this match.
Can't argue with that one. I think it's not because Todd is smaller. It's more of a stylistic, because if Michael's King's moving, but his hand is like that, it makes it real difficult. Whereas if he's like this, difference between here and here is monumental, right? King's move here, he doesn't. If it's out here, that's all you need. This right here, folks. Once you have this, and of course my hand doesn't, it stops right there, by the way. Did I ever show you that?
No.
I got no rise on the right. Here's my left. Here's my right, as far as it goes. And then my pronation, right? Here's my left. Here's my right. That's as far as it goes. So basically my right hand has become a party arm, but that's neither here nor there. But I think, once Michael gets to that point, then it's a good idea. He's in a comfortable position. He can hold that for a long period of time. That's what it comes down to. Like Michael pulling his King's move when he's just a little bit like this, or if he's like this, dramatic difference. And I just don't think he ever got the chance to even get to that point in his last 3 matches.
I agree.
His opponents kept him I don't want to say flat-wristed, but just to where he couldn't pronate. And that killed him. Of course, Michael, being the guy he is, so aggressive, can I'm just going to go this way until I can really get the pronation going here. And all it did was he kept just going this way, but it kept opening him up even more and more and more, Yeah.
That's how it's going to go. That's what I think. We'll find out. Hutchings is looking incredible, But
Yeah.
styles make matches.
It does. It does. And like I said, we're going to have a lot to talk about come next Monday. The results from that, your world medal,
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Like, wow, something you would get out of 25-cent machine, bubblegum machine. It's like,
I don't want to offend Leonard.
Again?
I don't want to offend Leonard and Denise. That was in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, that was a United States World?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that looked like a keychain off a lanyard.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Oh, come on, Denise and Leonard. Well, they've come a long way after the one I just showed you. They come a long way. So
they have. Yeah.
Well, good.
Well, my man, we might have to put a bow on it right there because I got to head to a meeting, but
And you're still killing it out there too at your job, by the way. Good job.
Yeah.
They should have given you a Hall of Fame ring. That would have been nice.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we need to get those.
Yeah, it would have been sweet.
Yeah.
My friend, my Hall of Fame co-host. It was always been awesome to have you on here. I'm back. Everybody, today was just a situation where we did it on Tuesday, but rest assured, we're back Monday morning, and we'll have back to talk about.
Right on, man. Everybody, go head over to Jody's channel, hit subscribe.
I got new stuff. Check it out. Take care, you guys.
Thanks, everybody.